Libra, welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your monthly horoscope overview for the month of October 2021. But before we begin, I request you to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. And Libra, I also do daily video horoscopes and weekly video horoscopes that you can watch on my YouTube channel. And one more thing, Libra, before we begin, I have made a video on the long-term energies for you for your rising sign, and you can watch that if you're interested. That video talks about things like Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all the long-term energies in your chart, where they've been and where they will be till 2023. So that's all I'm going to say. This video is for Libra rising and Libra sun. I would recommend watching your rising sign and then your sun sign. So let's talk about the month of October. And the first thing, Libra, is that as we enter the month of October, Mercury is retrograde. Now, Mercury went retrograde on September 27th, and Mercury retrogrades are generally not the best time to sign new contracts, start new things, and gadgets can malfunction during Mercury retrograde. And communication also slows down. So just be mindful of that as we enter the month of October. And Libra, for you, Mercury is retrograding in your sign. We will talk about that. But now let's move on to the first important event of October. And the first important event is a new moon in your sign, Libra, a new moon in Libra. And that's happening at 13 degrees of Libra, which puts it in your first house. And a new moon is a point where we seed something. We seed something on a new moon that we will work on for the next lunar month, for the next 28, 30 days. And Libra, for you, this seeding, this beginning, in a way you can say, is connected to your first house. The first house is you, your identity, who you are, even your appearance. So this is a month where you will work a lot on yourself. So that's October 6th. Then on the same day, Libra, we have Pluto going direct. Now, from April of 2021, slowly, one by one, all the outer planets started to go retrograde. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Chiron, Uranus, all are retrograde, right? And since April, this process started. And retrogrades are a period of review. We review things during a retrograde. And retrogrades are also a period where we receive karma for the work we put in while the planet was direct. So since April, it was more of receiving the rewards for the work we put in, receiving the karma, reviewing things we'd already seen glimpses of when these planets were direct. But now, in the month of October, slowly all the outer planets, not all, one by one, most of the outer planets will begin to go direct, right? And that starts with Pluto. So Pluto is going direct on October 6th. It's been retrograde since April 27th, I believe. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's a planet of healing, catharsis, endings, beginnings. What Pluto wants is total transformation, but Pluto is a very psychological energy. It works internally. And for you, Pluto is retrograde, was retrograde in your fourth house. And the work that you've been putting in internally, in subconscious ways, in many ways to transform, has been the fourth house of your deepest emotions, of your family, of your closest friends, of your physical home perhaps. And Pluto has been in your fourth house since 2008. It's been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. So it's a long process, it's a slow process, it's a subtle process. And now Pluto is going direct in your fourth house. So all the forward movement in this area of transforming things, of the psychological work you need to put in connected to the fourth house, will begin again. And then on October 7th, Libra, we have Venus changing signs. From Scorpio, it enters the sign of Sag, as you can see on the chart. And Venus is a benefic. It gives gifts, it brings blessings, and it also makes us more receptive to wherever it is in our chart. And for you, up until October 7th, it's been the second house. So gifts, blessings, rewards, even more receptivity towards your second house of finances, self-worth, values, and skills. So it could be that you started to feel better about yourself as Venus transited through the sign of Scorpio, your second house. Or it could be that you became more receptive to your values or your finances. These are just examples. It could be anything like this. And now on October 7th, it's going to enter your third house and give you gifts and blessings and rewards connected to the third house, and even make you more receptive to that area. The third house is our logical mind, it's communication, it's information, it's our immediate environment, it's our peer group, siblings, social media, computer programming, editing. All these are third house things. So for you, this is the area where the gifts will start to come in, or you will simply just become more receptive to this area. It could be that you become more receptive to some communication that's going on, or you become more receptive to your immediate environment, or some sort of changes happen in your immediate environment. Anything like that. And then on October 10th, Libra, we have Saturn going direct. Okay, now Saturn has been in your fifth house since December of 2020 for good. Before that, it retrograded back and forth. So Saturn is the planet of hard work, right? It requires us to work hard wherever it's transiting. And it also puts the matters of that particular house in order. And for you, that's your fifth house since December of 2020. And Saturn, so what that meant was it went retrograde a few months ago, and that hard work kind of eased off. It was more of receiving the rewards, receiving the karma for the work you already put in, connected to the fifth house: love, romance, children, creativity, hobbies, fun, pleasure. But now that work begins again. Now Saturn's going to move forward again and put matters of that house in order. That's October 10th. And then on October 12th, Libra, we have the first quarter square of the moon. Now, this is a point where the sun and the moon make their first 90-degree angle. And this is a point where the whole week, for the next 7-8 days, till the full moon on October 20th, we will be working on overcoming challenges, making adjustments, making changes connected to what? Connected to the new beginning, or what you seeded on October 6th with the new moon in your sign, Libra. So whatever you seeded, whatever beginning you had connected to your first house, your identity, your appearance, who you are, your leadership, this week you're assessing, okay, I'm facing this challenge, how do I overcome it? Things like that. And then on October 18th, we have another outer planet going. We are not an outer planet. We have Jupiter going direct. Now, Jupiter is the most benefic planet. It gives gifts, it brings lessons as well. And Jupiter is in your fifth house. And now it's going to start moving forward. So when Jupiter is retrograde, the gifts, the lessons, the rewards, they ease off. And now Jupiter going direct again means the gifts, the rewards, and the lessons will begin again, connected to your fifth house of love, children, creativity, hobbies, fun, pleasure. So that's Jupiter. And on the same day, Mercury is going direct, and Mercury has been retrograding in your first house, and it does slow down communication. Gadgets can malfunction. It's not the best time to sign new contracts. And for you specifically, Libra, in your first house, Mercury was asking you to review your identity, who you are, how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you, your leadership, and perhaps even your appearance. So that's what you were reviewing as Mercury was retrograde from September 27th up until October 18th. And now it's going direct again, which means the forward movement in all these things will start again. And then on October 20th, Libra, we have the full moon in Aries. The full moon in Aries is happening at 27 degrees, which puts it in your 7th and 1st house axis. And a full moon is a point of clarity. It's a point of understanding. It's a point of release as well, and of culmination and completion. And this full moon is highlighting your 1st and 7th house, which means it's highlighting your identity, who you are, how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you, your leadership, perhaps even your appearance on one hand, and your legal issues, business partners, and marriage on the other hand. 1st and 7th house axis. And this full moon will give you more clarity on the new beginning, whatever you started on October 6th with the new moon in Libra. So whatever you started connected to your identity, maybe you started going through some shift when it comes to yourself. Now you'll be able to see, okay, maybe I'm changing in this subtle way. I understand this better now. And the more important understanding is about something that happened in April of 2021. We had a new moon in Aries in April of 2021, and that new moon in Aries brought in a lot of new energy. It brought in a new life, in a way, so to speak. It was a lot of new energy. And this full moon will help us understand the energy that came into our lives in the month of April. What was that energy? What did I start back then? How did things begin to change back then that have culminated now? All these things are very subtle as well. So that's the full moon in Aries. And then on October 23rd, the sun is going to leave your sign Libra and enter your second house. Up until October 23rd, the highlight, the focus, what is being illuminated in your life is you, is your identity, is who you are, your appearance, your leadership, how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you. But on October 23rd, for the next 30 days, the focus is going to be your skills, your finances, your self-worth, values, and material possessions. And then on October 28th, Libra, we have the last quarter square of the moon. Now, this is a point where the sun and the moon make their last 90-degree angle before the new moon on November 4th. And this whole week, up until November 4th, starting October 28th, is a point of release. It's a subconscious release, it's a subtle release. And this energy is asking you to release things connected to the new beginning you had on October 6th, or whatever you seeded back then. This week you're assessing what stays, what goes, what about that beginning do I need to release, what about that beginning comes with me to the next lunar month. And on October 30th, Libra, we have Mars entering the sign of Scorpio. Mars has been in your first house and now it's going to enter your second house. And Mars is an energizer. It energizes whichever house it is transiting, right? And Mars enters a particular sign, which means a particular house almost after 2 years. So up until October 30th, Mars has been in your first house, energizing and reinvigorating your first house, your identity, who you are, your appearance, your leadership skills, how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you. And for example, it could be that maybe you weren't focused on yourself in a way for the past 2 years or so. But Mars comes in and says, hey, time to focus on yourself. Let's change things up when it comes to you. Let's work on your identity. So that's how Mars is. Mars is action. So wherever Mars is, we take action. So it could be that you start taking action towards your appearance, towards your identity, towards your leadership. But now on October 30th, it's going to enter your second house. And that's where the action will be. That's where Mars is going to re-energize and reinvigorate your life. So it could be that maybe second house is skills, self-worth, values, and finances, and material possessions. So it could be that maybe in the past 2 years, you really wanted to learn a skill, but but it didn't happen. But Mars comes in and says, hey, take that action now, make it happen. Or it could be something connected to your finances, right? Maybe you wanted to do something connected to your finances and it didn't happen. But now Mars comes in and says, hey, let's make this happen. So that's Mars. And these are just examples. It could be any one of these things. And that's the month of October. And to sum it up, October is a month where the forward movement will begin again. Since April, it has been slowing down, slower, slowest. But now from October, it's going to start picking up again. The planets will start to go direct again. New things will happen. We will begin to create karma rather than receiving it. We will begin to create new things rather than reviewing old things we've already worked on or set in motion. And that's the month of October. It is your month, Libra. The sun is in your sign. The new moon is in your sign. So now I will pick a card for you, Libra. Let's go with the top card. Acceptance. I am learning to accept the things I cannot change. I think the lesson for this month, Libra, is that maybe certain things happened and you couldn't change those, but you must accept those. So the lesson is acceptance. I will pick one more card for you. Okay, there we go. Community. I think this month Libra may be focusing on people you connect with, where you belong is a good way to go. One more card for you. Let's go with the top card. Co-create. I think this month Libra, you need to work with the universe and create whatever reality it is you want. And this could very well be connected to your identity. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you have a great month, Libra. I will see you in one of my other videos. Bye.